Okay.
Alright, so we're just going to be talking about the last tournament.
What tournament?
The last tournament I fished. Down in Wequaquet. Right?
Finished sixth.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Not bad, but not good.
Yeah.
So, I had put out there that I was going to put together a video on how things unfolded for me at the second Mass Bass Nation Pro-Am event held this past weekend down on Wequaquet Lake on the Cape. So I'm doing this really to help everybody understand the thought process and things that can go sideways, and also for myself, you know, to keep it fresh in my mind. I want to hear myself talk about it and process it that way as well. So I'd gone down and pre-fished Wequaquet twice before the tournament. Okay, on the two Saturdays prior to this past Saturday, and it was phenomenal. I mean, that lake has got them a lot of big ones, just really healthy right now. Grass is awesome, water quality fantastic. Only downside to parking is horrendous, but we'll take it. So the first Saturday I go down there, and they had just pulled up, the largemouth had just pulled up to spawn, and I'm telling you, big fish everywhere. And 2 weeks out, I had a blast catching them. Okay, I posted a picture of a 626. I saw one that was well over 8 because it dwarfed the 6. Numerous 4s and 5s, and I had my best 5 were well over 20 pounds. I didn't weigh them all, but numerous 4-pounders. There's a 5 in there, along with that 626. So it was a blast. And to be honest with you, this spring I've had the best spawn fishing of my entire career. All basically taking place down the Cape, between the big smallmouth on Mashpee and big largemouth here on Wequaquet. It was great. It was great. So that's in my head. Okay, so all right, I'm 2 weeks out, so I know things are going to change. All right. So I go back down the following Saturday, and sure enough, the weather was decent between those 2 Saturdays, and there was some fish that I found that I checked on them. They were no longer there, but there were new fish everywhere. Same quality as well. And then I'd also just done some blind fishing around, and you know, was catching quality that way as well. Again, a week out, I wasn't too concerned about it. So one of the mistakes I made was not going down on like Wednesday or Thursday just to look around, just to see exactly where they were, because the weather had turned cool. We had 2 frost warnings, 2 nights with frost warnings, and it was cool, cloudy, windy, and I knew things were going to change. Water temperature actually went down. Okay, so I didn't do that. Some guys did. I went down Thursday and kind of saw a fresh look of what was happening. There was a tournament on Friday before the Pro-Am. I won't get into that, but that had an impact because there were quite a few boats, and they caught them really good too. So this is where it went sideways for me. I knew that it was going to change. I knew I wasn't going to see all those fish on beds. Okay, there would probably be a few, but I figured for the most part they would be off the bank. I might have even talked about it. First drop, you know, cover, shallow cover that fell into deeper water, docks, lay down, stuff like that. Weed beds, and that lake's got all that. Rock piles offshore, you know, humps, stuff like that. So I rigged for it. I rigged for what I pretty much was certain was going to happen. Okay, so and I had those rods on the deck on tournament morning, but I had a low boat draw, third boat out, and I knew I could get to a place that it was basically a one boat deal, and I left a few big fish in there the week before. So right first thing in the morning, you get all day, right? So I run in there, and sure enough, there's several of those fish are still there. So I go to catch. I caught 3 of them, but they were the males, fairly easy. One big female, 4-pounder. I actually got her to bite twice, and I didn't hook her. I spent hours on her.
She wouldn't bite.
No, wouldn't bite. I fooled her once, and the glare was in such a place. I didn't know she was following the bait out, and she bit like 5-6 feet away from the boat.
Wow.
As I was like just pulling the bait out of the water to make another presentation. Pulled it out of her mouth, really. The second time I left her, Jeff and I, we went fishing the rest of the day. I'll get into that. Came back to her because she's worth certainly at that point I would have called up over 2 pounds, and that would have really done a lot for me because I had 11 1/4, finished 6th. So moved up a little bit in points, but not good enough. So I went back to her, couldn't catch her. She finally had enough of my fun and swam off and went in the direction of some shallow brush. And I cast over there and fished on my way out. And she actually came out and blasted the bait, but didn't get it. Then I could look in there and I could see her in the brush, water crystal clear. Fish for her a little bit, but I literally had like 10 minutes to get back to the ramp, and I had to make my way out of this shallow deal through 2 no wake areas and then to the ramp, so I had to go. Anyway, after that initial trying to catch those spawning fish, which like I said I caught 3, so I ran some other main lake beds that I had, and then some more backwater beds, and took too much time doing that, just looking for the fishing while I was still looking for those fish. Obviously I had them marked, they weren't there. So half the day's gone by now, and Jeff and I was like, listen, we're just gonna go to our conference area, we're just gonna fish. Okay, so I did that, and instead of fishing where I believe the fish were, thought they were going to go to, where they were, how they were caught, I kept pushing the shallow deal because I could put a bait in a lot of places. I'm fortunate to be able to do that, that put it in a place where other people don't want to or can't or whatever. And I was still catching quality fish, that I had they were good 2 3/4 pound fish, and I needed to get rid of some 1.5 pound, 2 pounders. So, yeah, I mean, hindsight's 20/20. I had those rods on the deck, actually thought about the, what if, and I should have gone to that a lot sooner rather than push it shallow. Still, however, and this is a big however, and this is what messes with your mind, and I know why this turned out to be the way it was, just because of the rotation and the fact that I spent hours on a fish I couldn't catch, and a few more hours fishing for fish that weren't there or too small. It was one shallow. Okay, so by a lot. And that's my deal. So those kind of tournaments, really get under my skin. When it's self-inflicted, and you know what the deal is, and you rig for it, you plan for it, and then you get sucked in. This is what I talked about in the beginning, the mind games, the mental game. You get sucked into just enough bites to keep you doing something that at the end of the day won't help you. All right, just part of tournament fishing. So I wanted to bring you that video. Just hanging out on the back deck here with JMO. I'm actually completely overhauling the whole boat, tackle-wise, rigging for the Potomac River coming up, and we're coming into summer, summertime fishing, and so I'm changing everything over and rigging for that, and cleaning up the boat. The boat's like a sandy, just swampy mess from what's up. So there you go, Mark Burgess, Big East Bass Fishing. We got James Big Fish Belanger here, coming to you from the back deck. All right. As always, appreciate everybody watching and subscribing and following. It means a lot. It's growing, definitely growing. YouTube channel needs some help, but we will definitely see you out on the water here soon.